Volunteering as an election official in my county really increased my confidence in how elections are being run in the state of Maryland and throughout the country, to be honest with you. Being a natural born skeptic, I had questions about how good the system actually was. And going through 4 hours of training to become an election judge in my state really helped me feel good about the way our county and state officials are running elections here in Maryland. As I was talking to friends of mine who are equally skeptical of things political, I encourage them to say, if you have questions about how the process is being run, there's no better way to find out answers to those questions and actually volunteer to be an election volunteer in your state, because you actually then own part of the process, right? You go through the training, you understand how the systems work, and then you can actually be responsible for how elections are being run in your state. My name's Joe Plenzler, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm from Ohio, but I live in Maryland. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2015, and my wife got out of the Marine Corps in 2016, and the 2016 election was the first time that we had voted in person in our entire adult lives. So, all the other times we had voted, it had been by military absentee ballot. And it seems like a really simple thing, but it was a really powerful experience for us to walk into our local polling station, see the volunteers making democracy happen. And I looked at her and she looked at me, and I'm like, man, is it getting kind of dusty in here? Because I'm getting a little choked up watching this happen. And so in this age of really, kind of toxic political division, it's like when people run a polling site together, everyone's got their own political opinions and political affiliation, sure, but like it doesn't matter in the polling site, because it's actually kind of considered impolite to talk politics when you're an election official. And it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It's your duty to help all citizens from your community exercise the right to vote, whether they're the same party or not, as you. So that, that's a really kind of cool unifying thing. And I can't think of any other place where this really, happens in that sense outside the military. So it's kind of a special experience. It felt really good to be a election judge in my county. I know a lot of times when veterans leave the military service, many of us struggle to kind of find a connection with our communities. We struggle to find a sense of purpose in our work. And I think one of the, because really nothing can compare to the military experience, especially if you served in war, but I think one of the best things about being an election volunteer is that you have an opportunity to connect with your community in a very meaningful way. And it's not like some abstract sense of connection with the people. I mean, it's a very real and concrete thing where you see your friends and neighbors coming through the polling site, right? And you also see members of the community that you would never interact with had you not volunteered to do this. So I think, if you're looking for a really meaningful way of giving back to your community, there's probably very few ways more meaningful than helping people exercise the fundamental right of being an American, which is voting. You hear a lot about political division in our country today, but I got to tell you, every person that came through our polling site, Republican, Independent, or Democrat, we're so grateful that there were volunteers there to help them vote. And every single person, we didn't run into any jerks like at our site, and they were all like very, very appreciative. So, everyone was like, hey, thanks so much for volunteering, so that felt pretty good. We're planning on doing it again in 2024. Elections are important to me because they're the foundation of our entire political system in America. So I think, when you think about this country was founded on the aspiration of one person having one vote to be able to direct the course of the country. This is democracy in action. We can talk about it a lot. We learn about it in grade school and high school, but what it really comes down to is, do we get to choose our elected officials or not? Right? And do we have a say in the future course of our country or not? And do we have an ownership stake in our country or not? And I think the beauty of elections is on election day, the poorest person in the country and the richest person in the country get the same say. They each get one vote.